everybody. So joining me today is Azure Hall. Did I say that right?
You did. Yep. Perfect.
Okay, so she's from US Ghost Adventures, which before we had Josef Kruger on, which these
Mhm.
names, like, is that like a prerequisite to get hired?
You have to be a little spooky.
Yeah, and you have to have just a really cool name because I mean, my gosh, Azure, that's an awesome name.
Thank
So
you.
she's going to join us today to talk about the newest US Ghost Adventures acquisition, the Lizzie Borden House. I can't believe you're here to talk about. I'm so grateful when I had written about it when I saw, right away.
Yeah.
But then Joseph was like, "Hey, if you didn't know and you want to talk to somebody," and I, boom, please,
Yeah.
yes, and
Joseph
here.
is great at volunteering me out. Yeah.
So here you are, and welcome.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here.
So, do you have anything specific that we should know? Like, how did it even come up that they know that there was a possibility that the Lizzie Borden house was going to be, or they saw it and they're like, they're going to jump on it? How
Yeah.
did it work?
The listing went live and we went crazy and just jumped right into it. Yeah. We were so excited and it fit so well with the rest of the brand that it just seemed like a natural move. I mean, endless ghost tours in a property without having to scoot off before it's too dark. It's awesome.
Exactly. And people can still stay there? Is that going to be
Yes.
still?
So I'm sure that your followers know the fun jump rope rhyme, the Lizzie Borden with an axe, et cetera, et cetera. But the property has actually already been an operational bed and breakfast for quite some time now. So the owners, I guess, were just ready to move on to something new, listed it, and we went for it. And we're so excited that the sale has officially gone through.
That's awesome. Yeah, because when I first saw it was for sale, I was like, will Zach Bagans from Ghost Adventures get it? Will someone else?
Right.
And then a Ghost Adventures connection. Well, not that ghost, but you guys, US Ghost Adventures got it. So
yes, it was exciting. It was a long process, and we're still in the process of taking over operations. But it's exciting. We're working towards maintaining that history and continuing the story of the house. So we're very excited.
Is it still open right now then, or is it in a transition? Or how would you even work that? That seems
right. So from my understanding, like I said, I'm all the way out here in Cheyenne, Wyoming. So I haven't seen up close quite what's going on right now, but we are in a bit of a transitional period. We're working on retaining as much of the staff as we can and keeping things flowing, but also coming in with a ton of new ideas to sort of update the property and create more opportunities for experiencing it. So I do believe that it's in a little bit of a holding pattern right now, just while we make that transition.
Okay. And probably COVID and stuff isn't
sure.
that too much fun either.
No, it doesn't really help with much of anything.
No, especially if it involves people being together.
Right.
No bueno. And what about do you have any ideas yet of what might?
Sure. So we are sort of releasing that information slowly. Every day the company's owner comes up with a new crazy idea that he wants to do. But so far we do have some really fun things in the works. We're planning on having murder mystery themed dinner nights for guests and for visitors, and axe throwing, which is a little on the nose, but still pretty fun. And we're going to set up a camera, a live feed of the house. We haven't selected the location yet, but for a small donation towards restoring the house and maintaining the property, viewers will be able to watch Lizzie's house in real time and maybe catch some ghost activity from their home.
Oh, that's cool, because then that wouldn't require going anywhere or anything.
Exactly. Oh, and you can kind of feel out the house and see if it's somewhere that you would want to stay.
Oh, that's awesome. I've heard really good things about it from, friends who have gone. I haven't made it up that way yet, but it's on my list.
Incredible property. It looks exactly the same. The previous owners did an amazing job of keeping that authenticity of the property, and even down to the furniture. The chase where Lizzie's dad was found, there's a reproduction of that. It's amazing the way that they've maintained it.
Wow. And are you guys going to keep that too, you think?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, we want to have as many fun photo opportunities as possible.
Oh, that's even better. Yeah, there was, I wish I could remember his name. He's on Instagram and he shared with me when he went that he had to. He's like, I have to do the pose on
Yeah. Yeah, it's a popular spot for photos for sure.
I don't know if I would be bold. Well, plus I'm a girl. I don't know that I might make my husband try, but
Yeah.
he can be fussy sometimes, so maybe not.
Well, husbands have a tendency to do that.
And what about you guys have a contest right now, right? A giveaway?
Yes, we're currently holding a giveaway, another exciting development. So any guests attending one of our tours in any of the cities, we have about 33 cities live right now with more coming every day. When you book your tour, if you put in the promo code BORDEN, when you book, you'll be entered to win a 2-night stay plus $500 towards transportation costs.
Wow.
So another great opportunity to experience the property.
Yeah, that's a great deal. I mean,
Yeah.
And are you guys still doing I think when I first met Joseph, it was still kind of lockdown pandemic, very few in-person things still going on, but there were some live streams and, events. Are you still doing those also?
Yeah, so we still have our Ghost Flix experiences. You can either book a pre-recorded one or you can book a live ghost tour. The schedules vary, so you'll just have to check the city that you're interested in and see which nights are available for the live. But I want to say all of our cities have opened back up for in-person tours as well. We just have COVID precautions in place, like social distancing and masks. But being outside really facilitates getting together as much as you can right now.
Yeah, helps. Yeah, a lot. Yeah. And people getting vaccinated now. So it's all starting to lower.
It's the perfect time to open back up the house.
Yeah. And it's getting to be summer. Do you think it'll be open nearer to fall and spooky season or?
That's the plan. Hopefully by the end of the summer, early fall. Yep.
Oh, and did I read too, or maybe I didn't, maybe I'm imagining. Are you going to be doing ghost tours out of there?
We are. We haven't completely worked out the logistics. We want to respect the privacy of the guests staying overnight, but also make the property available every night for locals and people in town who are maybe staying in a hotel but still want to get to experience the home. We're working out the logistics of that still, but we're looking to have as many people experience the house as possible because there's so much to see.
That's awesome. And did you guys acquire Lizzie's other house too, the Maplewood?
No, as far as I know, Maplecroft is still up for sale. So if you have any viewers interested in being our neighbors, I'm pretty sure that it is still.
Come on and get it. Is there I know you said you hadn't gone there. Is there any kind of a favorite spot though, or a story associated with the house?
Geez. So favorite or scariest?
Oh, either one you pick.
So there are a couple really interesting spots in the house. Our owner, Lance, actually, his first night there alone, I mean, I don't know if you would expect anything less from a ghost tour company CEO, but he stayed in Lizzie's room all by himself with no one else in the house. And that one is a really popular spot, especially if you want some interaction with the spirits. People have reported feeling hands on them when they're sleeping, footsteps and laughter and all kinds of scary stuff.
Oh my God. Did he have anything happen?
He said he heard footsteps. Yeah, but he also said he got a very nice night's sleep. So we can assure it's a nice blend of scary and relaxing.
Scary and rejuvenating. It's so weird.
Really popular spot is the dining room table. Once everyone is able to get back in that B&B feel and eat their meals together, the table is actually in the spot where the autopsies were done. So if you are a fan of looking at autopsy photos while you eat, that might be a favorite as well.
Are there actual photos there?
There are photos. It's amazing when you walk through them or on video like I did. There are posters and signs and newspaper clippings all throughout the house. So it really feels like this blend of a bed and breakfast and a museum, because as you walk through the house, you can see the history of what happened and pick all of your, I guess, favorite spots where terrible things happened.
Just pick one. And what about is there a ghost cat? Do you know?
I don't know. I've heard about the ghost children on the top floor. But if there's a ghost cat, then I really might have to hurry up and schedule. My apartment doesn't allow cats and I miss them.
Oh, no. That's funny. I guess, and I don't know if there is, think I read like there was a cat that was killed in the basement or something too. I don't know.
It wouldn't surprise me.
Who
It
knows?
wouldn't surprise me at
But
all.
the children, that's interesting because where would they, like, did people live in that house after? Where did the children come from?
So this is a lesser known story of the Bordens, and I'm not going to try to get into the genealogy because cousins removed and distant uncles and all of that family tree stuff is not my strong suit. But several decades, I want to say, before Lizzie and her family lived in the house, her uncle lived there with his wife, and his wife sadly suffered from some pretty severe postpartum depression.
Oh no.
And actually killed herself and her children at the well behind the property. And the children were known to spend their time playing on the top floor. So visitors will come and bring toys for the kids. We brought our haunted Lily doll. I don't know if you're familiar with Lily.
Yeah, she's right here.
Perfect. I love it. Yeah,
she's got crazy hair.
Yeah, we brought Lily, and some of the toys started going off on the top floor when Lance brought her up there. So there's a lot of spookiness that goes on in the house and in the town as a whole.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I'm not like some people are, they have their paranormal favorite hotspots or, toys or whatever. And of course, that's a huge one. So I'm drawn, but I didn't know. I think this is the first time I could have forgotten, but no, I think I would have remembered such a tragic.
Yeah, it's heartbreaking. It's one of those overlaps that you want to be sensitive with because it is such a tragic story. And with postpartum depression being so common and so misunderstood for so long, it's easy to trivialize the story as just some ghost kids in the attic, but it really is. The house has a tragic history.
Holy cow, that's awful. But it's also amazing that he heard and other people have heard. But it's also interesting too, I'll get your take on this, that footsteps, you wouldn't think, like last year and this year, the couple of times I've traveled in like the last span of 16 months, let's say, 3 of the places that I stayed at that were haunted, we had footstep experiences, which I'm not sure I've ever heard footstep. I actually have heard children giggling in drawers. Well, I thought they were in drawers, but I woke up in the middle of the night thinking I was losing my mind because why would children be in drawers in a hotel room? And I had to check, though. It was so visceral that I was like, I had to put my mind that, no, this isn't happening. But then later I came to find out it was a very similar situation. A woman had thrown her 7 children off of the roof of the hotel I was staying in and killed herself also.
Where was that?
In Utah, actually, Salt Lake City at the Shiloh Inn, which I don't know if it's still called that, but it's downtown. And I didn't know at the time I was there. I was a paralegal and I was in town for business, and I had no knowledge of that, what had happened until, after then it all came out. But I was like, what is happening? And
that raises an interesting question too. I mean, if you go in not knowing any of the history and you still hear something like that, when people go into somewhere like the Lizzie Borden House with all of that anticipation and former knowledge of everything that happened, are they more likely to hear something or experience something? But if you're going blind into a hotel and hearing kids laughing in drawers, I'd say that's pretty intense.
Something's happening. But that's another thing too, because it's interesting. Like, we went to the Driscoll and my husband heard footsteps. Well, I did too. I thought it was him, and he's like, do you hear that? And I didn't know I thought he was getting up and it was the middle, I thought it was like very early in the morning. It's like, it's already time to get up. I was like, why does he have to wake up so early? And then he said, do you hear that? And I was like, oh my God. And they were like right here. So, but then I was like, okay, keep it cool, because I don't need to freak him out. He freaks out about birds. So imagine ghost people. He would be like, wah. So
yeah, I don't know if you're gonna get him to pose on that couch or not.
No, but it's interesting that we do. And then, like you said, like, will we be, and then do we get disappointed? Like, I hear that a lot. Like, people say, oh, I went someplace I didn't, but it's not like you're always going to have it, but just being in a place where so much history.
Sure, absolutely.
I mean,
and I think the house is nice too, because it's not like walking into a graveyard or a cemetery or something like that. and expecting a ghost. Even if you go and you have no experiences, or you go and you're a complete skeptic and you wouldn't believe it if you did, there's so much history to the house, even just down to the architecture of the time and how well everything has been preserved, and the interior decoration, and the dress worn by Christina Ricci in her performance as Lizzie Borden is on show there. So even if you don't get the typical paranormal experience, it's still one heck of a museum that you can sleep in. So
wow. I
yeah.
see. I didn't know you had stuff like that in there too. So
Yeah, it's incredible. It really tells you the story of the house.
so fans of true crime, because I mean, I always come at it first normally from the paranormal, but this, like you just brought up a great point, that really this appeals to people of history, and then the architecture. Do you happen to know the style of the house that it's?
Goodness, I don't.
No.
I can look it up.
Either.
I don't know. Architecture, genealogy, these are some of my weak points.
That's me too. I'm good if it's like obvious, but then when it's not, I was like, oh, that raises a very good point. What is the style? But it is
that old New England feel, though. I'm sure there's a very technical word for it that I don't know, but it really does feel like stepping back into old New England.
And it looks like from the outside too, like I've only seen a couple pictures from the inside, but from the outside, it just really does have a lot of character to it.
Absolutely. So, yeah, if I didn't know that was Lizzie's house, I'd live there.
Yes.
I
don't know if I want the history, especially now the other history.
Right.
It's very interesting. And what have you, like, so I know you're more of, would you say more marketing?
Yeah, marketing and public relations. We do have a marketing director. I'm in charge of our communication. So lots of social media, media relations, stuff like that.
That's awesome. But have you heard any really good tales do you get a chance to, interact with the guides, or do you hear through the grapevine any really great?
So I, myself, and actually our owner, Lance, we went to school in Williamsburg, Virginia, which is where US Ghost Adventures began. And Joseph lives there. That's sort of our little hub that I'm hoping to get back to here soon. But I went on one of our tours while I was home visiting. My sister and I went on the tour of Colonial Williamsburg, and I went to college there, and some of the scary stories incorporate the campus. And it was interesting to get the paranormal perspective on essentially my own hometown. So I have heard some of the stories that are told on our tours. I edit all the blog posts, so I get to read all the in-depth ghost stories that we write about. And it's amazing how much material there is out there and how many people have these very real experiences.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
My college, at the College of William and Mary, our bookstore has an underground, I don't know, I guess a basement, a terrible, scary room that just has textbooks in it. And a lot of the time there's no one down there working. So I can't even tell you how many times I went down there at the beginning of a semester to get textbooks, and I was in there completely alone, thought nothing of it, took the books upstairs to the Barnes and Noble, checked out and left, and then come to find out it's crazy haunted down there, and the employees don't want to be down there alone. They leave us down there alone. But I had no idea. So you never know how haunted a place is until you go on a ghost tour and find out what's going on in your backyard.
Oh my gosh. So you went to school there in the Williamsburg, or in Virginia. Then did you take the tour before you started working for the company?
Oh, no. I took it just recently, about a month ago. And I've been with the company for a while now. So I thought, we don't have a tour here in Cheyenne. We do have one in Denver that I'm hoping to go jump in on here soon. But I thought it would be good to experience one firsthand. So I went on one, and it was spooky.
Oh, that's awesome. That's Williamsburg is the other place I'm desperate to get to, especially Colonial Williamsburg.
Oh, you absolutely should. It's beautiful.
Oh.
Even the haunted spots are beautiful.
Oh, and it's loaded with them. So, wow.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Oh, this is awesome. So let me check. Before we had a little hookup, Now we're finally hooked up. We had a little hooking up. Right. So I was a little thrown off I'm going to quick totally look, and I had it pulled up. There it is. I thought I had a question for you that I wanted to make sure. So If
Yeah.
it looks like I'm away, I apologize.
No, you're totally fine. Take your time.
Keep it. Okay, so I got the contest, Borden. And I think that's it. So I can keep it pretty short and sweet. Really just
Yeah.
know that you guys now have acquired. Oh, no, I do have one other question.
Oh, sure.
Is there anything else big on the horizon besides adding more tours and getting Lizzie Borden, or is Lizzie Borden taking up everything? And right now that's where the energy's going.
I'd say it's a mix. We have quite a few cities that we're in the process of opening tours for. So we're hiring guides. If any of your followers are in the cities that we cover, they can go to usghostadventures.com, go to locations and see our upcoming cities, as well as all of our currently active cities. And there's also a work for us button. So we're recruiting new tour guides, training new tour guides, adding to our staff, living the life of Lizzie Borden and working to get the house ready. It's a very busy time, especially with summer coming up and people being more interested in spending time outside. We're always looking for new opportunities and making new plans.
Oh, so if any other big things come along, it could happen that
Absolutely. We are open to opportunities. When Lance sees a deal as good as the Lizzie Borden House, there's really no option but to go for it. So if something like that came up in the future, I would absolutely see him going for it.
Oh, I'm so glad he did that. So it's super exciting that you guys got, because I was hoping, I thought, somebody could buy it and not look at it as a turnkey investment and could have just
absolutely buy it and live there and shut the doors and stop letting people in.
Yeah, and which would be crazy because people I think would be trespassing all the time anyway.
Oh yeah, no, people would definitely sneak in, I think, if it were a private residence.
Yeah, so I'm glad that it worked out, and I'm really looking forward so we'll look forward to hopefully spooky season.
Yes, I'm sure. We haven't announced anything quite yet for Halloween. It's still a bit early, but I'm sure there are going to be some very fun things going on around the spooky season.
Okay, that's awesome. And not just for Lizzie Borden, but maybe on your tours and stuff too, right?
Absolutely.
So, this was awesome. Azure, thank you so much for joining me. I'm sorry for the little hiccup connecting.
You're fine. You're fine.
Oh, and is there anything else you want to say about that I should know that I didn't think to ask?
I don't think so. We covered the history of the house, our plans for it, other spooky areas, your spooky experiences. I mean, that's pretty much the company in a nutshell.
And Lily. We also even brought her into the, because
I love to pop Lily in whenever we can.
Yes, because her hair has never gotten. It just gets crazier if I try to straighten it.
I understand.
Maybe that's what I need to do. Maybe she wants a bit of color. No.
Maybe.
But okay, well, thank you so much, and I really appreciate you joining us. So thank you, and I hope you have such a great day.
You as well. Thank you so much.